everybody, it's me again. I just wanted to post quickly because I had my sleep study done about 2 nights ago. I didn't really know what to expect. You know, I had seen a couple of things about it and I had heard a couple people talk about it, but it just, you know, you just don't ever know really what to expect. So from the start, they told me to bring in, you know, if I wanted to bring in a pillow or a blanket with me, that was fine. You know, if I was more comfortable sleeping with something from my own bed. So I brought in a pillow and they said they had showers there so I could shower in the morning if I needed to. My appointment to come in was at 8:30 and they said I'd be out by 6 in the morning. So for me, what I decided to do is just take a half a day the next day. Actually, no, I didn't take a half day. Sorry. I told them I would just be coming in late because 6 o'clock is usually when I leave for work, but I figure if I leave at 7, whatever, I'll just come in a little bit late and stay a little bit late. So I get to the hospital and they check me in and everything, and there's just one kind of tech there, and they have these rooms set up. They're just like bedrooms. They just look like kind of, I guess, hospital slash hotel bedrooms. I mean, they don't have a lot of equipment in them. They just have a little bit for the sleep study stuff, but definitely not the most comfortable of beds. But the first thing that they do is start putting like these little circular tabs on. I had 2 here. I had 2 on each of my legs. I think I had some like right up here. I don't know. And then he went through my hair and started like measuring my head and making all these marks on my scalp, and then like going through my hair and trying to find the spots so he could like put this goo on my head and like stick probes. I don't know. It felt very weird. And it actually took a long time. I don't know what time he actually got done, but I think it took about an hour for him to get me all wired up. I had straps around my chest and strapped around my waist. From the 2 circular things on my legs, there were wires coming from those, and he had to like tape them to the front of my pants because you know, so they wouldn't get moved around a lot at night. And I had like this whole, like, I felt like a cyborg because I had like these whole wires just coming out of my head, and they plugged into this pad that had like all, like, I don't know, 30 different holes in it, and there was all these wires coming off of me and into it. Also, you cannot wear nail polish, ladies. You have to take off your nail polish. I actually had nail polish on, which I never wear, but I happen to have some on, so I had to take it off with my middle finger here because they couldn't register for some reason with nail polish on. So after that was done, I was all wired up. I was exhausted. I was exhausted because I usually go to bed between 8 and 9 o'clock, and at this point it had to be like 10:30. Just a second. My dog again. Sorry about that. I have her here with me now. Hello, Boo. So after I'm all wired up, you know, he's, you know, everything, he gets you into bed, and the wires that are coming out your head, you have to make sure that you don't lay on them. So like when you're laying on your back, you don't have your shoulder on them. He told me that I could lay on my back or my side, and I couldn't lay on my stomach, and that was kind of hard for me because I usually fall asleep on my stomach, even though I usually end up on my back anyway. But so that was a little difficult to get to sleep. There's a TV in there, so I was able to put that on. I don't usually sleep with the TV on, but I need some noise when I sleep, so I usually have a fan on at home. But it was freezing in there. Oh my gosh. They had it at 71 degrees, and they give you this thin sheet and this, sorry excuse for a blanket. It wasn't any, it was probably thinner than a towel, than a regular bath towel. It was just ridiculous. So I was freezing. I was shivering. Not even, you know, just saying, oh, it was cold. Like, I was shivering. But he said that it was important to do that, or to have it be a little bit cold in there, because you can't sweat, because sweat upsets the I guess the machine or whatever the sensors are that are on my body. Oh, and I also had one of those things in the nose, and it's had this little part that was hanging down right in front of my mouth. So anyway, so he went in there and he said if it gets too cold, I could bump up the heat and get an extra blanket. I ended up bumping up the heat 2 degrees and getting 2 extra blankets. So at that point, I think I was able to fall asleep. But when I first got into bed, he said, okay, now you know, close your eyes. Okay, good. And he was outside of the room, so he was seeing all the sensors and how you could actually see that my eyes were closed. Then he said, move your eyes left to right, and I did that, and up, down, you know, breathe through your mouth, breathe through your nose, make a snoring sound. And I said, make it louder. So it was all these different things to test the sensors, move your feet. And it was interesting to know that, you know, he couldn't really see. There's a video camera there that's black and white, so he can see you, but it's interesting just to see, you know, I could tell that he was looking at the sensors when I was doing that, so he could tell, you know, where my eyes were moving, and that was cool to kind of know that. But after all that was good, he said, you know, go to sleep and call me if you need me, kind of a thing. So I ended up calling. I felt like a prima donna. I was, so I called him like 3 times to get blankets and stuff because I was shivering so much. But then, like I said, I eventually got the heat turned up and a couple extra blankets, and I think and I bought a pillow for under my knee because my knee's been bothering me. And I think that's what really did it, because I'll tell you what, I don't know how long it was when I woke up again, but when I woke up again, I was sweating. I wasn't supposed to sweat. So I immediately started stripping off the blankets, and not a minute later, the guy comes over the intercom thing and says, Jamie, your sensors are kind of messed up. Can you turn on your side? And I'm thinking, oh God, you know, I don't want to have to do this again. So I turn on my side. It's like, no, it's not it. So he comes in. He says, are you sweating? I said, I think I might be, you know, sweating a little bit. I said, but I took off my blankets. He's like, okay, well, if it's sweat, there's nothing we can really do. Just, you know, go back to sleep and hopefully you'll cool off. So I slept the rest of the night pretty much without blankets on except for around my feet. Oh, because I put socks on too. Again, I was freezing. So with just pretty much my socks on and no blankets. But yeah, it was the worst sleep of my life. I have to mention that. Awful sleep. Awful. My alarm that was in my purse and on my phone went off at 4:30. I told him to wake me up at 5, but he was like, okay, well, you're awake. Do you want to just leave? So I actually got to leave a little earlier. The good news is that I didn't have severe sleep apnea. If I had, he would have woken me up in the middle of the night around 1 o'clock and had given me one of those CPAP machines to open up my airways to breathe. But yeah, when I woke up at that point, realized that what time it was and that I didn't have any, I knew that everything would be okay. And he actually said to me, he's like, when I first saw you, you know, I've been doing this for a while, and you know, because we were kind of chit-chatting, so, you know, I wasn't offended by this comment, but he did say that, like, when he saw me, he figured me for somebody with sleep apnea, just because he had done it so many times and because of the weight that I have on me. But he was surprised at how little of an issue that was for me. So that's good that I don't have that issue, but it's just one of those things where it's like, is that going to be a help or a hindrance for my insurance company to approve me because I don't have this issue? So they're going to say, well, you don't have this issue, you know, you don't have prediabetes, you don't have anything like that, so this isn't necessary. You know, I hope that's not the case, because that's why it's such a big deal for me to have the BMI at what it's at right now, because if I go below it, then, you know, they definitely have grounds to say I can't have it. So anyway, so that was so, you know, that's been my struggle for the past couple of months. And that's what happened after I was done. You know, it didn't take nearly as long to take all those things off of me as it did to put on me. It probably took about 15-20 minutes to take it off. And then I was able to go home, but I was exhausted. Don't work after your sleep study. Don't do it. Don't even attempt it. Unless you're one of those people that I guess can fall asleep anywhere and get a restful night's sleep wherever you're at. And frankly, I thought I was one of those people, but don't do it. Don't do it. I just came home, and on top of that, I actually got a little bit sick. Not throwing up, but, you know, definitely stomach issues. And so I was at home yesterday. I wasn't home today, so hopefully tomorrow I'll be back at work, but definitely exhausted and would not have been able to, first of all, drive into work, and second of all, been productive at all. So good luck to those of you that are still needing to do that. It's it's not a big deal. It's just kind of like a waste of a night. You know, you're gonna have to come home and take a nap. So if you can schedule on the weekend, that's probably great, or just take the day off the next day. So that's where we are. At least that's done. As far as what my doctor told me I needed, I'm pretty much done with that. But I was looking over the paperwork again today, and it said something about a chest x-ray, and I didn't have that on my list to get done, so I need to call them and find out if that's actually something I need to do, or if it was on the list and it's not something I need to worry about, because some things, you know, some insurance require it, some insurance, they don't require it. So that's the next step for me. I can't believe I'm almost there. I have my 5-month weigh-in and my long nutritionist thing next Tuesday. So I'll update after that as well. And then I'll be only a month away, and it's crazy. But I'm excited. Oh, and I haven't been telling a lot of people, just a couple of people. And if somebody asks me, because I have been talking about I'm getting a surgery, I might be out of work, you know, telling my coworkers, you know, I might be out for a couple of weeks, so that, you know, whatever the thing is that we're talking about, I might be able to do that or whatever. And a couple of them said, you know, are you having weight loss surgery? And I'm like, well, yeah. So I tell them if they guess, and you know, they've been really supportive. Actually, I just found out on Monday that my boss's husband had gastric bypass. So she was very, you know, helpful, and she was very understanding and willing to, you know, get me in touch with him or answer questions that she may be able to answer, or get resources for like vitamins and stuff. So that was really, really good to know that she understands the issue, she understands the importance of it, and she understands that, you know, this is serious and important, and it's not like, oh my God, why is Jamie, you know, taking off work to do this? You know, she knows that it's, you know, a positive thing, and it's going to be help not only for me personally, but also, you know, I'll be able to do more at work. But anyway, so that was actually a pleasant surprise. And as the time gets closer, I think I will start telling people more about it. It's just one of those things where you're just like, I don't know how people are going to react, you know. And the fact that you know, I haven't been on any kind of strict diet the past, you know, you just don't know how they're going to judge, or if they're going to judge. And you know, I don't think they will, but it's still just, you know, that's what goes on in my head when I think about it. So I'll see how that goes, and like I said, I'll update you all soon. Thanks for listening, and I'm gonna stop rambling for now. I can't ever stop. No, stop me now. No, I can't. Okay, I'm gonna stop.